Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm in my little store, my farm stand, working on it again. But I wanted to stop and say, welcome to the channel and welcome to this week's video. I'm so glad that you're here to see what I have to say. Today we are talking all things milk. If you're like me and you've got dairy animals at home, one thing you're definitely going to have a surplus of is milk. And there are so many wonderful things that you can make with this milk. Be it cow's milk or goat's milk, they are both equally wonderful. If you haven't had the chance to try fresh, raw milk from the farm, you should do this. There are so many wonderful benefits to raw milk. That's the biggest reason why I decided to go ahead and get my very first goat. And I loved it so much, I really wanted to start making my own cheese and butter, and that led me to getting my very first cow. Now, you don't have to do like I do and go out and milk every day. You could become a milk share herdsman or get to know your local farmers. You never know what kind of goodies that they might have and that you might be able to purchase. And I tell you what, if in your state or province you're not allowed to get your hands on the fresh goods, you can still use the store-bought. And you can still make this delicious yogurt that we're going to talk about today. I'm going to show you how I first started making yogurt. I used a yogurt machine. So obviously I'm going to take my yogurt cups and make sure they are clean and sanitized. And then I'm going to take and bring up the temperature. That was incorrect. It's actually about 130 degrees. Once you reach that with your milk, you're going to put it in the sink and you're going to cool it off to somewhere between 105 and 110 degrees. Once you have reached that point, you will then add a starter culture, which is as simple as buying yogurt from the store that has live cultures in it. Just make sure it doesn't have any added things, no fruits or things as such. And you'll just measure out a little bit in there. You'll take your warm milk and you'll add it to the starter, but you'll want to go ahead and strain it first. And then add some sort of a sweetener, whether it be sugar or maple syrup. I did add vanilla, but I wouldn't suggest doing that. Sometimes it doesn't want to set up correctly. Make sure everything gets mixed really well. And then you're going to start pouring it into your little yogurt cups. In the meantime, your yogurt maker, you can see, has been warming up, so everything stays at that good temperature. Pour it into your cups, and it'll come out looking a little lumpy, and that's okay. It's very helpful if you go ahead and just line your cups up in a row. It makes it a lot easier for pouring. You'll put them into your yogurt maker. I am not affiliated with this in any way. It is actually one that I just picked up on one of my thrift store runs. See there, you can see that it looks a little bit chunky, but that is totally normal. After you put it in the yogurt machine, on cow's milk, I like to go about 7 or 8 hours. On goat's milk, I'll go about 12. And it comes out beautiful and creamy and delicious. It is absolutely amazing and it's so simple. You can do it when you go to bed. Sometimes you'll have a little bit of separation. That will happen, especially with the goat's milk. It's just more difficult to get it to set up. I've chosen to use aluminum foil to cover the tops, and that worked really well. I've actually, in these pictures, I'm using yogurt cups that were recycled from yogurt that I had been buying before I got my cow. I later found out there's a cling wrap that will stick to the glass really well. And you'll put that on afterwards, after it's done. And it does get some condensation, but you peel it back and see that beautiful, creamy, delicious yogurt. Perfect to start adding some granola or your favorite fruit. It is amazing. But if you want to be extra, go ahead and use all the cream with your cow's milk. Look at that yellow deliciousness. It's like creme brulee. And again, here's a picture of the goat's milk showing you how it just doesn't set up the same. It's still a delicious yogurt, but you know what? I found out you can make yogurt cheese. You are gonna love this recipe. It's one of my favorites. You can use the Instant Pot for this. That way you can get a larger amount, but that's okay. Either way works great. But I just use the yogurt setting. I do the same thing. I either take some of my already made yogurt or I'll take store-bought yogurt and put in there and do the yogurt setting. Then I put everything into a bag to strain. You can use a cloth or you can actually, this is a paint straining bag. It works really well. You'll hang it for 24 hours, then you pull it out and it's gonna be really soft. But you're gonna add salt to that because you want to get as much whey out of this as possible. You're gonna let that hang yet again for another 24 hours. You would be surprised how much of the liquid will come out. You want it to be a soft cream cheese type texture. And that's when I start scooping it out and putting it in balls and rolling it in herbs. I have an Italian herb here with the cow's milk, and I like to use an extra virgin or just any type of olive oil because this is what's going to keep it fresh, and you can keep it shelf stable this way for a very long time. Fill your jars about halfway with the oil, and then you'll start putting the balls in there, making sure that you keep them all submerged and put olive oil to the top. On the goat's milk, my favorite is to use garlic and onion. Isn't it just beautiful? Such a creation of art. And then it makes for a spreadable cheese for crackers and bagels. It is amazing. If you haven't already, make sure you ring that notification bell, and give me a thumbs up. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you all.